Pisces. Welcome to Pure Tarot. So I'm looking into how will you become famous, if that's even possible for me to read such a question, but we're here, so let's just do this. I'm drawing out of the Moonology deck to get a moon phase and potential timing for you in terms of when this would occur. Let's get one card out of this deck. I'm gonna tilt the camera. I'm gonna start pulling out of my different decks, get all the shuffling out of the way, so please be patient. It takes a few minutes to get set up. Don't click off, please. Bear with me. Thank you. I'm also aiming for pop outs, so sometimes it takes a little longer. So this card says, a new start is coming. It's a new moon. That's amazing. It's a great way to start a reading about fame. Because fame does transform one's life, right? Like it's a 180 degree sometimes shift. This is called the Triad Oracle. The words are in French. Sometimes it's the same word in English, French and English, but papyrus. So it evokes like a contract, a message, right? This one is a makeshift deck. There are French keywords on blank cards. I will translate if need be. You could be into writing, of course, with the papyrus card. You might have a talent for words, even I want to say speech because anything related to Mercury, really, but mostly writing. Two cards. Wow, it's really strange because they're like, well, not strange, but one is risk, it's risk, and vide is void, like there's a void. It reminds me of this new moon. The fact that it's black, it looks like a black hole. So that's the epitome of the void, right? What I also like is that in most religions, or if not necessarily religion, but in spirituality in general, you know, when you meditate, you might not totally stop your thoughts, but you try to have as little thoughts as possible, right? So kind of empty your mind of all the chatter and things like that. So that kind of spin on what this void could be, right? And also, if you want to create space for something new to come in, which is the new start, you need to actually, so the space, and I mentioned the black hole, it's in this space, it's in space, but it's the same idea. You need to make room for the new start. So I think that void is much more in that sense than being something that doesn't lead anywhere. I don't sense that to be. First card out, the Emperor. I've been getting like mini piles of cards. Sometimes there's more than one that falls out. So like this, I'm gonna spread them afterwards and show you. Let me get one more little pile, and we're really gonna start digging here. And you only get one card. I'm gonna pull one more, just maybe one more card here. Ah, I didn't see this. It was there all along. I don't know when it turns. That's really interesting. I'm only gonna find out when I watch the video, because I was looking in front of me, not down at the cards. That's really interesting. Okay, cool. So the Emperor I showed you. Here we have the Lovers in reverse, the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse with the Five of Swords. So I'm gonna make some room. And here, the Page of Cups. I'm gonna leave him a little bit separate. It came out alone, or like. And then we have the Two of Swords in reverse, the Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands. 2, 3, 4. I really like that. And you can almost think that the page, he has one cup, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that. Okay. Let's start reading. Well, the first thing I want to say is the new start. It looks like it comes from this Emperor. So an authority figure. It could also be representative of, like, you could say a boss. So if it's an opportunity, of course, in career. Oh, by the way, for me, fame is kind of linked to a potential career, right? So something that you would do, that you would be known for in terms of how you, and that earns you money. So if you want to read it on a romantic level, it's up to you. It's your life, right? But I'm mostly taking the spin of within the context of maybe work, and even like more deeply a vocation, right? And something that is meant to be. Because if you reach, in my eyes, I think if you become famous for what you do, it's because you truly, truly were meant to do this thing. So for me, it's like a vocation. So I think you get involved, I want to say, with someone that is very high placed. So it's like, I don't know how you make the connection, but like you don't start bottom level, like, or base level. It's like you already know, like, the big honcho, and he's the one that lets you in, or he's the one that discovers you, he's the one that signs your deal, he's the one that believes in you, or he's the one that creates this new start for you. For me, that's very clear. So you might have sent an application, you might have made some phone calls, emails. We do have the papyrus here, and I mentioned like a message, something in writing, of course. So there's all of that implied here. But what comes first? It's like, is it the egg or the hen? It doesn't really matter here, but what matters is that whatever action was taken, in whichever direction, it comes from someone really, really high placed, someone with influence and with the power of decision, right? So that's really important. Then we have the Lovers in reverse, the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Five of Swords. There's like a mini drama here. It feels like I'm hearing not being on the same page with the Lovers in reverse. And what ensues is like this mini drama, right? Some kind of being closed off, not working on things, and even being like almost obnoxious here. So I'm not too sure how that plays out in terms of the opportunity that you're being given by this Emperor, especially in the context of your career and in terms of really like changing your status from like a regular Joe to like suddenly becoming you know, the flavor of the month. I want to say that it feels you got discouraged. It feels like you did not want to I'm hearing that you didn't want to comply with the rules. You didn't want to comply because the Emperor here is quite demanding. I think that, you know, when you this deal, I'm seeing a deal here because of the papyrus, right? It's like I'm hearing things like a record deal or something like that. It doesn't matter, but just for the explanation here, it feels like you didn't like the clauses. You really didn't go along with what was proposed, and like you decided to close it down, literally. You were not prepared to put in the work that was requested of you. I think it was, you probably thought it was like way too much. It was being asked a lot of you. And you didn't comply. You literally didn't comply. I even see you like sort of I'm not sure which one of these gentlemen you are on this card, because you could be one of the defeated ones, or you could be the one that, you know, inflicted, basically gave the negative response. Or you were given a no, but I'm really sensing that you didn't comply. I'm looking at the Lover's card here. It must have been really, really difficult for you in terms of that initial deal. I think it's something that you really, really want. You really want this fame. I think you really want this position. I think you want to, you want this for your life. So it must have been like difficult, you know, like having something you love that basically you know that you have to turn down. I have to say something though, and I think you were greedy as well. I don't think you agreed with the salary, with the literally like the amounts of dollars that were attached to the deal, and in comparison to the work that was going to be done. I'm also hearing like the number of years for the contract, the duration of the contract. You didn't, I don't think you were on board with that. I just want to look quickly at something here. On the papyrus, you have 5 bars, and you have the number 50. So I was describing duration of the contract. So whatever makes sense for you, whether it's a 5-year deal, a 50-year deal, like I think you felt it was risky. You have the risk card. We have the risk card here. I'm hearing it wasn't leveled. That was the risk. It wasn't leveled. Let's move on. I think this Page of Cups in reverse is the void. I think that if you did step away and decline the contract, the deal, and heart-wrenchingly, right, because it's something you really wanted, I think you had a huge sense of void inside. Like you must have felt like, you know, like the ground was opening under your feet and you were falling through. That's what I'm sensing, literally. Because you saw the offer, you know, you saw it disappear. You saw the offer swallowed up. Being buried. You know, we have the Lovers and the Page of Cups, so I mean, again, it's something that you really, really loved. It's something that really meant something to you deeply. Yet, I told you it's the series of 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what's interesting is that the 1 and the 2 are in reverse. I just want to point that out. And then the 3 and the 4 are like upright. So initial card is like the new start is coming. So you can sense the crescendo, right? You can sense the new start. You know, when if you start pedaling on a bicycle, the first stroke is slow, the second is a little faster, 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 faster. You know what I mean? It's the same feeling here. So this start is gaining momentum. So what's really interesting is that you move from the void, quote unquote, from being left with nothing for temporarily. And I'm seeing here that there's a decision that's being made, and this is the moment where the void turns into the space you actually needed so that the new start could actually really start picking up, and like almost like a rebirth, or like I'm not sure, I'm not able to tell necessarily if it's the same deal or if it's similar deal, like a similar opportunity. It'll be different for every one of you, but there's a pivotal point, moment. It could be from you, right? It could be a change of heart, literally, and saying, well, what am I doing? You know, I turned down this thing, and it's like, I can't be turning it down, right? And then suddenly, like, turning around, and because this is a very clear-cut decision. Also, because she's blindfolded, I think there were things that you didn't take into account. I think there are things that you were oblivious to, that when you were left in the void, empty and alone, or suddenly that's when you realized, wow, okay, then you saw like the full picture, and you're like, you probably were, okay, I can't let this go, right? And then what's amazing is that, so the void transforms into the space that was needed, and then suddenly, from using the word void to the word space, I hope you can sense that in this space now there's like life, there's place for something to grow. There's it's not the same energy. And so the following cards are like the 3 of rods and the 4 of rods. So like, you're gonna still be in a place where like a transitional period, like a waiting period, but then you reach the 4 of wands, which is like the happy home life card, quote unquote, but it's mostly like reaching the finish line, as most readers say. So meaning you celebrate, it's a completion, right? So you reach your goal, and I think it's about finalizing the deal. It's about accepting it. It makes you very happy. Very, very. And for a long time, you know, we had the duration here, like there's the notion of perenity a little bit. Not perenity, but because it's stable, right? It'll last. And it's a commitment card in a way, so it's important to note that when you were rebelling when you decided like it wasn't for you and you didn't want to comply, now you're docile as a sheep now. You know what I mean? Like you've really changed your perspective, like your view on things. Yes. Because I think, like I said, you didn't see the full picture. And here you see it, you know, like you see really far and wide on this card. I think you're able to, and somehow, because the hand is on the rod, like you almost can grasp it, you know, you can almost touch it. It's so close. It's so close. Whereas here, you know, you drop the ball, basically. So it doesn't really tell me what the opportunity is, right? What I sense is how it happens, how it unfolds that you get there. The only thing that is definite though about this, about your fame, it's linked to a contract. like the word deal better. It feels like I'm always seeing, like, you know how you can make a deal on a handshake, that kind of thing. So it's funny, like, I'm not even sure there's like a signed contract here, but I'm sure there will be. I'm just saying, because I did say you didn't like the clauses, so I think there was, you had enough information. You didn't have all the information. There were things you didn't see, there were things you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know about the broader context, but you definitely knew about what it entailed. But I don't know if it was written. That's what I mean. Like, maybe it's to be drafted. Maybe once you accept it, right? Once the decision is made, then it gets drafted, and then it's black, like black on white. But the clauses are there. I have to tell you though, I can really sense the clauses are there, and I don't think they've changed that much. Honestly, I don't think so. But at least now, it was your choice, right? You've made the choice to agree to it. Finally. So it's coming. So this new start, think about, I don't know, any next new moon. I'm unable to tell you if it's like next month, you know, I don't know, but maybe the new moon is important. So on that note, thank you so much for being here. Please share, like, and subscribe. But mostly come back. I prefer to see you on my channel again. Well, not that I see you, but knowing that you've been here. Thank you so much. Good night.